What's going on, YouTube? This is the Boxing Theorist, and I'm back with another video. And for today, I'm here to talk about the showdown that's going down on May 7th between Dimitri Bivol and Canelo Alvarez. Canelo fought 4 times last year and managed to get undisputed within in a year. And that's just There's only a few. I think it was only. I can't remember exactly, but I know that there was a fighter that have done that before. Can't think of it right now, but regardless of the fact, Canelo did that, and I just grew so much more respect for him for doing what most fighters wouldn't do. For one, fighting 4 times is unheard of nowadays. I know they did stuff like that way back, talking about dating back to Sugar Ray Robinson. You know what I'm saying? Those days back then. That's unheard of nowadays. And I would love to see, I'm glad that Canelo did that because I would love to see more fighters you see how that Floyd Mayweather effect that happened in boxing, where a lot of people take business over making business decisions over legacy decisions, legacy defining decisions. You see, I want the guys like Jamal Charlo, the guys like Caleb Plant, and all of these other Demetrius Andrade. I want all of those guys to take note from what Canelo did last year, and I need to see more. I need to see these fighters, some of my favorite fighters, fighting more, which they're not doing. They're sitting back waiting on that ticket, that golden ticket from coming from Canelo Alvarez, which to me is bullshit. I want to see Caleb Plant and David Benavidez fight. I want to see Jamal Charlo and David Benavidez. I want to see Demetrius Andrade versus Caleb Plant. And you get what I'm saying. That whole little triad, triangle, whatever you want to call it, I need to see these guys get in the ring and get busy to see who's the best candidate to fight Canelo Alvarez. So that's all I got to say on that. But to get back on topic, Dimitri Bivol, phenomenal fighter, Russian. He has a bit of a different style from that of Triple G. You know, those rough and rugged, pressure, front foot, heavy pressure fighters. That's educated. All first and foremost, I would like to say Ukrainians and Russians fight. They have they have a bit their style. I'll say this. Basically, here's what I'm about to say. Triple G has a traditional textbook style of fighting, right? Where he fights, he's educated. I mean, he fights behind his jab, goes to the body, has a lot of power, and that's really it. He really has a linear style, but it's always worked for him. Versus Dimitri Bivol and guys like Usyk and Lomachenko, where they have a different approach, is where I was getting at there. Fighting off their front foot at times and fighting off their back foot. And with Dimitri Bivol, he has good footwork. He can move very fluidly for a light heavyweight, and he has a phenomenal jab. He uses that jab to feint down low and to feint up top to give his opponent different looks. And he makes for a tough target. Uses that high guard defense, right? And naturally the bigger guy. All right. Is capable, and because of him being a bigger guy, he's capable of being more durable. Okay, so Canelo's power, we'll have to see if that power, we already know whoever Canelo fights. I mean, he fought Sergey Kovalev, for peak's sake, and was able to knock him out and wear him down in the later rounds. So we know that Canelo's power can translate up to light heavyweight. But at the same time, you can also say that Kovalev he's up in age now, and you got to factor that in as well. But If you want to make an argument, I can respect that argument. But with Dimitri Bivol, young, you know what I mean, and still has a lot more to prove. This will make for an interesting fight against Canelo Alvarez because he's a 12-round fighter, and he's not one of those guys that's going to gas out fast, or if at all. Okay. And then you have, on the other hand, you have Canelo Alvarez. We already know what he has to offer, style wise. Canelo Alvarez is a guy that likes to apply front foot pressure, okay? But unlike a guy like Triple G, he incorporates a lot of head movement, has good move. His upper body movement is just off the chain, man. It's amazing to watch him make people miss the way he do, and while still trotting forward, where you have the guys like Devin Haney and Shakur Stevensons and all of those outboxers, the guys like Mayweather, they're better off using and incorporating their head movement going backwards. Canelo's, he does complete opposite, where he's able to go forward and still make his opponents miss as he's walking them down. That can be frustrating, and it can enforce the respect of your opponent. In addition to that, he has power, right? We all know that power that he's packing in them hands of his, man. And the thing with Canelo is that he earns the respect of his opponents before he even steps in the ring with them. And that translates to fight night, where he'll apply that front foot. He doesn't even have to necessarily be punching in order to get his opponents to back, to respect, to give him all the real estate he needs to do his work, right? Like, for example, I noticed that Canelo Alvarez, he'll hold that high guard up, right? He'll hold up his high guard. And he does this little thing where he'll feint. He'll feint, subtly feint with that front foot. He'll step forward and take one half step forward and feint with it. And I noticed that his opponents react to that. And it works damn near every time, right? And he'll continue that cycle, occasionally throwing his jab, well, using his jab in addition to that subtle feint with that high guard as he's stepping forward. And his opponent, I guess subconsciously, they don't realize that they're giving up a lot of real estate to the point where their backs finally touch the rope, and then that's where Canelo tends to land those heavy power shots to the body that he's known for, all right? Going down to the body, going up top, right? And Canelo's subconsciously training their minds, conditioning their minds to drop them hands so that he can land those shots over the top. So, Canelo's just an educated fighter, man. I mean, phenomenal. And as far as who I think will win, I'd have to go with, I'll say this, I believe that Dimitri Bivol will be his toughest challenge yet to date outside of Floyd. Obviously, that happened years ago. I believe that Dimitri Bivol will present Canelo with his toughest challenge. And Canelo, I feel like Dimitri Bivol's going to have to start round one and put those in the bank. He's going to have to establish his dominance from round one, leading all the way up until 12. I think I did mention that he's a 12-round fighter. Yeah, Dimitri Bivol's a 12-round fighter, so we won't have to worry about him fading unless Canelo helps him to fade, unless Canelo forces him to fade with that pressure that he applies and everything I've just stated that he implements to his game. Because when you make people miss and you're also going to their body to top it off, whether it's a counter or you just initiating the attack to their body, that can help them to fade, in addition to forcing them to move on their back foot and exert a lot of energy throwing combinations to try to keep Canelo at a respectable distance for them. That can make for a tough time, and that can cause you to psychologically fade, get tired, and that psychological, you getting tired mentally will translate to the physical aspect of you getting tired, getting drained. So you know, we'll see what happens on May 7th, man. I got Canelo winning. It's hard to go against him at this point in time. The man's a freaking machine, man. He's a machine. So yeah, man. I mean, that's all I got to say. And also, there were rumors going around that Canelo wanted to move up to fight Makabu at cruiserweight, which I thought was just insane. That's now to me, I wouldn't. Now that's one those that would have been one of those fights to where I would have been really nervous for Canelo because I mean at the end of the day, I've seen Makabu fight on a number of occasions. I've seen some of his. I seen like one fight live of his, and then the rest of them I watched tape on him. And Makabu is a good fighter. Now, he does have a lot of flaws to his game, to his fight game, but that I feel Canelo can exploit. But at the end of the day, that's a lot of pounds going up and that's a lot of going up in weight, man. And that might not feel natural to Canelo. Like heavyweight might be his top off. You see what I mean? But you talking about going up to cruiserweight to fight up there against guys who are way bigger and who knows if his power may translate there. You see? May translate to there. Now, if he were to fight Makabu and beat him, that man, that just would have been off the wall. That's almost damn near unheard of outside of what Roy Jones Jr. did. But yeah, man, I mean that's really all I got to say, man. I got Canelo Alvarez winning that fight due to everything I just explained. I believe that through time, Canelo's defense, they say defense can be your best offense. And you know, I just have Canelo winning because defensively he's sound. And Dimitri Bivol is too. He's highly technical and can move for a big man. But I mean, I don't think that Canelo has seen it all up to this point. I mean, his experience and him dealing with guys who can fight off their back foot and off their front foot, bigger guys and him fighting Colin Smith and him just demolishing him. It's hard for me to go against Canelo at this point in time. The man is just automatic. He's just automatic with everything as far as his style is concerned, man. He's just, I mean, everything. He's just on autopilot at this point. The man is winning damn near he's winning every fight against every type, every style of fighter. So that's something to consider as well. Yeah, man, that's really all I got to say. Please like, share, and subscribe, and comment below what you think. I would like to know. All right, peace.